Alright, lads, so earlier today I actually asked the question, how do you feel about the new 1000-year Blood War banner? A new BYAKUYA Esnot for a mid-month was something that no one expected. Maybe like 2 people as a joke, I don't know. I'm actually really excited for this banner, and I do want to get my hands on both Esnot and BYAKUYA. They look really cool, but I would be lying if my excitement would have been higher had they just been end of month characters. I still don't necessarily agree with KLab doing this particular banner now. This easily could have been an end of month banner. And I guess this is KLab experimenting with ways to make mid-month more summonable. They did that with the new step-up format, and now they're doing it with their very first 1000-year Blood War banner. And you know what? I'm not entirely against it because yes, these characters are skippable. If you don't want them, don't pull for them. But I want them, and I'm guaranteed one of them in step 10, so I don't mind it that much. And I think the main thing too is that we do know in 2024, we're going to get another Esnot. We're going to get his Vol standing form, the more important form. We're going to get another BYAKUYA in his royal attire. It'll probably be those 2 paired with BYAKUYA, and that's going to be an end of my banner, guaranteed. While I'm excited for this banner, I think the characters are good and I can see the value in both of them. They're not my summons, and that's a first for 1000-year Blood War in 2023. So I can understand the disappointment. But let's have a look at what you guys have to say. So Andre says, here's my honest opinion. I don't understand why so many people are complaining about the characters not having end of month anniversary treatment. In a sense, they don't have to get broken skills and mechanics to be desired. It's important that we understand that these are their first versions during 1000-year Blood War, and considering the number of characters missing from Core 1 and also 2, it's inevitable they will sacrifice some characters at the beginning for their best versions in the future. Don't be surprised if next year we get Soul Palace BYAKUYA, Esnot, alongside BYAKUYA in the same banner. Again, I kind of have the same opinion of that. I still think they could have been end of month. There's no reason not to. And I think I'll be a bit more annoyed in 2 weeks' time if end of month isn't like another 1000-year Blood War banner or something really hype. Then there's basically no excuse for making this banner a current mid-month, right? Now this got 45 likes, so it seems like most people do agree, and 22 comments of people disagreeing, which again is fair. But I think I've seen a lot of comments on, you know, my other videos on this comment section too. Those that are upset about the banner really are forcing their opinion down those that actually just like the banner. That's a bit ridiculous. We all have different tastes. We all play the games for different reasons. If you like the banner, you like it, you summon. If you don't, you skip it. There's no need to force your opinion onto someone just because they're excited for a new character, right? Evolution says, personally, I'm hyped that we finally got Esnot in game. It sucks that he's a mid-month, but I really love his visuals and the overall gameplay. Same with BYAKUYA. These characters are still very good and usable for sure. Again, I kind of agree. I don't mind Esnot in particular, but BYAKUYA, the lack of havoc definitely is a annoyance, I will say. But at least in the content he was designed for guild quests, it's not that big of a deal. But I'd be lying if I said that I would rather this over a potential end of month BYAKUYA and Esnot and what that could have been. If I had a nickel for every tech 1000-year Blood War banner with full stamina damage soul trait that was shafted for not having 1 essential skill, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it's happened twice. Yeah, that's the funny situation about this. I know it's kind of annoying for BYAKUYA fans. I find the humor in it, but at the very least, lads, I will say, we've come a decent far way, and this might be copium, where a shaft of a character is considered not having havoc, right? You know, back when Round 1 in BYAKUYA came out, he was basically unusable. That damage output was terrible. There is still some saving grace of BYAKUYA, is that he is a booster for a guild quest. He's going to be good in guild quests, and he does have a really good damage output with a good set of strong attacks. He's just lacking the havoc. To some people, again, that might be a deal breaker, but at least the character is significantly more playable compared to BYAKUYA back all those years ago. Because back then, he didn't have a niche. Like, there was no reason to ever use him. This BYAKUYA, there are reasons, but it is still a niche. Steph says, as a BYAKUYA fan, I'm happy that we got a new 1000-year Blood War unit with him, considering that there are other characters that have gotten 3 to 4 versions, Yamamoto. So despite him not getting havoc, I really don't care that he got shafted because I know he'll get a new version in the following years that will be better. Again, I think a lot of people have the same opinion with that. You know, back in 2020, right, if a character got shafted, it hurt more because they aren't going to get a new character for years. In BYAKUYA and Esnot's case, they're going to get newer and cooler forms literally in 2024. Enrico Pucci says, we hype for Esnot and even more possible for his Tartasaurus form in the future too. Al-Garib, hopefully I said your name right. If this means we are getting more 1000-year Blood War banners and more characters on this arc, I'm happy. Again, that's something I was also happy about too. We need to get more 1000-year Blood War lads for the banners to overall get better, right? If we continue to get like 2 1000-year Blood War banners a year, we would continue to get the same old terrible filler. We're kind of in like a transitionary phase since we're starting to get new 1000-year Blood War for the first time this year. But I guarantee you next year, for example, when there's so many new 1000-year Blood War characters and banners, eventually the characters now releasing will become fillers. And that overall adds more value and makes the future banners even better. The Lad Frost says the character visuals are 1-to-1 from the Bleach 1000-year Blood War anime, and they are some of the absolute best in the entire game due to the highlight of Senbonzaku Kageyoshi's beauty and also power. I perfectly agree. Again, the main thing I'm happy about is the visuals look really good. Like, despite these characters being mid-month, KLab didn't put any less effort into these characters. that's kind of annoying to a certain extent that they purposely made these characters worse by being mid-month, and I don't really agree with that, but the visuals on these characters, especially the sub-bombs, are some of the best looking characters in the entire game, especially when you compare it to the anime. Like, their sword bombs are exactly what I wanted. I've been calling for this for the better half of a couple months now. Camparian says, very excited. It seems like 1,000 Year Blood War characters will be hopefully dropping more often. They both look visually great, and sure, they will play good as well. Might have some skills that people would expect and hope for, but definitely not fodder. So I feel like the opinion, whether you're excited or disappointed with this banner, really come from where you are in the game. I know some people only pull for the best of the best, and if you aren't the top 2 best characters in the game, you're shafted, you're terrible, you're useless. And that's your way of playing. Some people just like to pull for cool looking characters and have fun with them. I kind of fit both categories. I can beat everything in the game regardless of the new characters coming out or not, and I will be skipping banners if the characters don't live up to my expectations. And to be honest, I would have probably skipped this banner had they not been guaranteed on step 10. But at the same time, you know, while the banner could have been better, I'm just excited for Esno. I've been waiting for him for a long time. He looks fun. Sure, I might not play with him that much going into 2024. I still want to get my hands on him because he looks pretty fun to play with. This lad says, I think that BBS community always wants broken characters, but it's quite hard to make them because each time a broken character appears, it changes the meta. So broken from 2 to 3 years ago, like 6th Anniversary Aizen, are now average now. My personal complaint is that BYAKUYA should have laceration instead of weaken. That technically makes sense. I don't think we've had... No, we have had a BYAKUYA with Lacerate, actually, with the arena one. I think Lacerate would have made more sense too, but I think the weakening purpose is more so for guild quests. Because again, that's where he mainly wants to be designed for, right? What Dwight says, the version of BYAKUYA was one of my most wanted units, and they decided to make him mid-month, while Eburn is end of month. At least he got some amazing visuals. That's the weird part to me too, right? I mean, I was kind of surprised that we got an Eburn, especially for an end of month banner, but the way I'm looking at it right now is that Eburn isn't a character that sells. And that's exactly why they put him in a banner with Kyoge and also Bambietta, and also made him a farming character, so you have reason to go for him. BYAKUYA and Esno are characters that do sell. You're gonna pull for them if you like them, regardless how good or bad they actually are. And maybe that's what Caleb are testing. By putting them as mid-month, they want to probably see what people are going to do in a situation like this. You know, if Eburn was a mid-month character with no pot increase, it would pull for him. No one. But in this case, BYAKUYA and Esno, a mid-month character, people are going to pull, myself included, right? And I think it's important to understand too that now they've actually done this with these 2 characters, we're probably going to see more mid-month 1,000 Year Blood banners in the future to maybe go through some of the more less important characters, right? So continue to scroll down some of the comments. It seems like most people are in agreement. The characters are good, could be better. They look cool. Banner format is pretty good, and that gives more reason to pull for them. But I think everyone would agree that them being end of month would have been significantly more ideal, right? Let's scroll down all the way to the bottom, though, to see what maybe some of the more unpopular opinions are. That's usually how it does go, right? And in this case, Shadman saying skip. That's kind of fair. Brian, it's saying is a low value banner, sadly. Step 3 and out. I can see the reason for that. And again, we are going to upload our Before You Summon video tomorrow. Right now, I will say, banner is worth going on if you want them. If you don't, skip them. In terms of meta-ness, I guess you don't entirely need them. And this really is only a banner you should be summoning on if you just like to play with Esno and also BYAKUYA. I fall in that category, so I will be summoning. But I will say, be a tad bit careful though. We are coming up to the end of the year. We do know in less than 2 months' time, we are going to get another 1,000 Year Blood War banner. And I'm looking forward to that more so now that we've gotten BYAKUYA and Esno out the way. Because that surely means that the next banner 1,000 Year Blood War for end of year is going to be Ichigo vs Yuha, maybe a Drugrim, maybe a Yamamoto. If that's the case, I'm excited for it. Tim says, nothing interesting, boring characters, boring visuals, at least first 1,000 Year Blood War on mid-month in the history. Clear Haze says, animations look good, but they're worse than Nini and Noel. I'm going to hold off and agree with that, because I have to play with them. But that banner was also weird, because they held back on that banner too, right? Like, Nini's great when she has the gauge active, but Noel feels like a 2022 character, I'm not gonna lie. And it's weird to say that, because BYAKUYA and Esno are mid-month characters, and they feel like 2023 characters. Especially Esno. The lad Salim says, meh, fair enough. Hype, but they're so trash, so I'm sad, fair enough. Easy skip my life, top 3 worst directors, really? I have seen, to be fair, a lot of people trash on Esno, which I understand, right? In the community, the last basically 3 months, right? And I wasn't really helping it, calling Esno every time we were expecting a 1,000 Year Blood War banner. We knew he was coming soon, right? And we weren't entirely wrong. But Esno has probably been the most requested character within the last 3 or so months. So I've seen some people that don't like Esno get kind of annoyed that everyone's calling for Esno, which is kind of funny. But I guess it's time to ask now, who's the next character that we're begging for? Esno at the top of the list. Who's it next now? I'm not really too sure. Continue to scroll up. Don't care. To be honest, I'm only waiting for Rukia. Hopefully 2024. But BYAKUYA's kit is underwhelming. Kind of is, yeah, with the lack of Havoc. They're not good enough. Should have had Rampage or Gauge. It's BYAKUYA and SNOT should have been end of month. Again, I agree with that. We have Captain Commander hating on BYAKUYA. I didn't know BYAKUYA status existed, I'm not gonna lie. KevYG says, first 2 steps only, not worth it with end of month and post-selection coming up. That's something to keep in mind too. This banner will be here until the end of the month reveal. So for those that are tempted to summon but want to see what end of month is, you can actually do that. And if end of month doesn't interest you, then you might want to do some summons on mid-month. Either way though, lads, that was the video for today, having a look at you lads' reaction to the new current banner. We had over 140 comments. Of course, I couldn't go through every single one because we'd be here for like 50 minutes. But at the same time, I did go ahead and read through all the comments. Most people are kind of saying the same thing. We all kind of agree, right? Banner's cool. Characters are good. To some, not good enough. And that should be the case because 1000 Yubano does come out as standard. As far as mid-month characters do go, these are easily the best mid-month characters in the game. Yes, doing a 1000 Yubano banner mid-month was a bit weird, especially for these two that easily deserve end-of-month treatment. But since the banner step-up is actually pretty good here, you're guaranteed BYAKUYA or SNOT in step 10, makes the banner overall not too bad. And at the same time, these two characters in particular are going to get new and better versions literally next year. If you did miss this community post but still want to leave your response on how you feel about the new characters, feel free to leave a comment below. But let's not start any arguments, right? We all have different opinions. We all value different things. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, no need to hate on someone for liking it, right? I saw a few arguments in the comment section. No need for that. At the end of the day, we all play the game for different reasons. We all value different things. And if you don't see the value in this banner, don't summon for it. If you do, and you want the characters, go for it. Sure. It's yours at the end of the day, right? Either way, though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.